Hello, friend. This is Ryan Hicks of TalkToProfit.com, and today I want to talk about why you must think about life and blessing, not the circumstances. Now, in visualization, and you will think about and visualize the future circumstances, what you want, what you're believing for, and in the end goal. Because remember, Jesus said that you believe that you received when you prayed. So you're living and experiencing and visualizing the result of having that thing you're praying for, whatever it may be. But when it comes to your daily thought life, it can be sometimes a mistake to think about circumstances. Now, obviously thinking about your own circumstances, because too often people will look to them as either God's will or something fated to them or something beyond their control. Not realizing that those circumstances, those issues of life, proceed from their heart. But if you want the circumstances to change, you don't change the circumstances by just thinking about them, because that just reinforces the negativity or the things you don't want. But what you do is you think about life, you think about blessing, you think about prosperity. So not the circumstance of prosperity, not the circumstance of blessing, not the circumstance of life, or of anything negative. Now, there's nothing wrong with thinking about those things every now and then, but you need to be in the vibrational state of blessing, the vibrational state of prosperity, the vibrational state of life, where it is almost an abstract thought. There's not this concrete thing that you're thinking about that means prosperity to you. You're just thinking about prosperity in general and the fullness of the life of God within you. And this can really have a dramatic impact on your life as far as manifesting the things you want in life. Those thought forces that you are creating bring about a tangible form in this life. Now, some people think, well, I have to think about the thing I want, because if I don't, then I'll get something else that I don't want. That's not how it works. God's not sitting there doing a bait and switch. Remember that Jesus taught two people who were not righteous and not holy like God, saying, if you then, being evil, know how to give good gifts unto your children, how much more shall your heavenly Father give good gifts to them that love him? And remember, he said, if your son asks for a loaf of bread, who of you are going to give him a stone? So don't think that because you want a certain thing, but you're not really thinking about that specific, exact, detailed thing. You're just thinking about prosperity in general, which would cover that thing, that you're not going to get it. Somehow God's going to give you a stone instead. That's not what happens. When you think about life, all the hundreds and thousands or tens of thousands of things that are contained within life flow into you. So you're not going to go without those good things, those needful things, those wanted things that you desire, because you're thinking about life. Sometimes this can be easier for people, because there are very often times when people will be thinking about the things they want, and they're really trying to focus on them and be positive and upbeat. But really all it's doing is creating a sense of lack within their spirit, because they know they don't have that thing yet. They're not really living from the state of having that thing, of believing they received when they prayed. They're living from a state of the lack of the thing. They think about it. They even try to visualize themselves experiencing having the thing, but really all it's doing is reinforcing in their minds the fact that they don't have it. And so if that is you, I would say stop doing that altogether and start focusing on just general prosperity, general life, general blessing. In an abstract form. It doesn't have to be any particular thing. It could just be that feeling within your spirit of God's blessing in your life. That feeling of the life of God flowing in and through you. That feeling of God's overwhelming abundance and great bounty in this life and in the life to come and in all lives possible. There's always an abundance with God. Doesn't matter if you're going into eternity or you're living right here and now, there's always an abundance with God. And so if you just focus on the goodness of God, focus on His life, focus on His blessing, focus on His prosperity, focus on His abundance, let that be your thought. Your thought would be about those things, not about whether you have them right now or not, because as I said, that sometimes can catch people up and get them to not be thinking about the things they want, not be thinking about they already believe they received when they prayed, but thinking about they don't have those things yet. And that's literally the opposite thing that you want to be focusing on. But when you focus on God's goodness, and you're just meditating in that, and you're going throughout your day with that positive, high vibrational state, knowing the abundance of God, knowing His prosperity, knowing His goodness. You don't have to directly apply it to any specific thing that you want in this life. Just that feeling of abundance, just that feeling of increase, just that feeling of God's Spirit blessing you with all good things. Knowing that God has given you freely and richly all things to enjoy. When you can do that, you will start to see things change in your life. And it may be that you can start going back to that visualization and visualizing living that end experience of having the thing that you believed for, and it no longer bring up feelings of lack. It no longer bring up feelings of, I sure want that thing, but I don't have it. And instead, you can live in that fully and really ramp up your manifestation abilities and start bringing more good things into your life, tangibly manifesting more good things in your life. Because the feeling is great, feeling that you've received those things, believing you received and feeling in that end state is great. But the reality is you want to actually receive the thing. You don't want to just feel like you've received it. You want to actually receive it here and now. And this is a way to do it. Focus on life, my friend. Focus on blessing. Think about these things. Don't think about the circumstances of the blessing, the circumstances of life, or the circumstances in general that you're experiencing in your life. Get your mind renewed to the goodness of God, to the blessing of God, to the abundance of God, to the life of God within you. And watch as your life starts to improve dramatically. My friend, I pray this is a blessing for you. May God bless you richly.